Hey there, Shira. Fingers crossed I said your name correctly. If I didn't, correct me in the comments below. Now, the second portion of your question is how do I get my first gig? And I posted the first part of your question now so that you kind of get the vibe of me, that you don't take this the wrong way, take it with a little bit of sugar. You do the work, okay? Getting your first gig, but having done no work is crazy. It's crazy. And I'm not calling you crazy. I'm calling the theory of doing no work and getting something from it crazy. All right. I have found that after coaching thousands of models over the last 5 years in Model University, that the people who are willing to do everything they can on their own with the resources they find until they hit the wall are the people that tend to actually be able to accomplish the very base of the goals that they're trying to accomplish, right? And then when they actually invest in getting help and stop doing it alone, that is when they supersede their goals. What do I mean? You want to get your first gig. From your previous question, I realized that you don't know how to get started. So if the goal is to get your first gig, but you haven't started, the first thing you need to do is on your own, okay? You need to take advantage of the resources you have access to. You're in this group chat, you're asking questions. There are so many resources that are literally in the start here portion. It's been there. There are courses inside of this group chat. There are other models inside of this group chat. I am inside of this group chat. And until you have exhausted that, right, you will not have a clear concept of what it really takes to actually not just find a gig, book a gig, but do a gig. You will have no understanding and no concept of that actual process, which also means that going beyond a first gig, right, is going to be incredibly difficult because you haven't even done the work on your own with the resources you have immediate access to in order to get the information you need to actually get the base of what you need to accomplish the goal. Does that make sense? And to break it down even further, if you haven't started, you haven't put together your fundamentals. You don't even know what those are. If you don't have your fundamentals, you're going to have no idea what type of gig you should actually be going after first because you'll have the most likelihood of success booking it. You have no idea because you don't have your fundamentals because you didn't start. You see what I'm saying? And because you don't know what type of job is going to pay you as you are and where you are, even without an agency, because you have no idea what your fundamentals are as a model, because you haven't started, then booking more jobs at a higher rate is going to be freaking impossible. It's going to feel so out of reach, even though it's really not. You just haven't started. You don't know your fundamentals. You don't know what type of work is actually going to fit you. And thus, you have no idea how to get more work at a higher rate. So, if you're really serious about getting your first gig, if any model is ever serious about getting their first gig, and again, even though I'm a coach, I'm not your coach. If you're adamant about doing this on your own, you need to actually use the resources you have access to here. You need to figure out your fundamentals, and you can literally earn your way by being active in this group chat to getting the model fundamentals guide for free. Okay, it's literally accessible to you. And from your fundamentals, then using another one of the freebies, which is again, top 3 sites for paid model jobs, to actually figure out which of those platforms have the jobs that fit your fundamentals. And then put yourself in a position to get the assets you need to show what you do well and why people should work with you so that you're prepared to apply to those jobs and get the booking. Okay. But again, if you never start, you never get your fundamentals, you never get an understanding of where the jobs are, you don't have the assets you need to show what you do well and why people should work with you, it's going to be freaking impossible and feel freaking impossible to actually book modeling jobs. And what's that going to cause you to do? Wait on an agency. But you didn't hear me say it. 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 Okay. Just know that's the process if you're adamant about doing it on your own. If you ever get to a spot where you've started, you did the resources, you figured out your fundamentals, and you still are struggling to get paid bookings because you have no idea how to actually get the assets to show what you do well and why people should work with you, give us a call. That's all I'm saying.